We're going to build a simple expense tracker using React. Let's start by creating a new React app. Open your terminal and type npx create React app expense tracker or cd expense tracker npm install uuid. Now open the project in your code editor. Inside the sarc folder, create a new folder called components. Let's go to app.js and clean everything up. Replace it with this. Import React, useState, useEffect from React. Import balance from /component/balance. Import income expense from /components income expense. Import transaction list from /components transaction list. Import add transaction from components add transaction. Import app.css. Function app const transactions set transactions equals useState equals const local data local storage.getItem transactions. Return local data json.parse local data. useEffect local storage.setItem transactions JSON stringify transactions. Transactions const add transaction equals transaction set transactions transact transactions. Const delete transaction equals ID equals set transactions transactions.filter t.id equals ID. Return div class name container expense tracker balance transactions transactions income expense transactions transactions. Transaction list transactions equal transactions on delete equal delete transaction. Add transaction on add equals add transaction. Export default app. Now inside the components folder, let's create a file called balance.js. Add this code. Const balance equals transactions equals const total equals transactions.reduce ac item plus item.amount 0. Return div class name balance your balance total.tfix2 hmdiv. Export default balance. Next, create another file called incomeexpense.js. Const income expense equals transactions equals const income equals transactions.filter t.amount 0 reduce ac plus t.amount 0. Const expense equals transactions.filter t equal t.amount 0 reduce ac plus t.amount 0. Return div class name xp container p class name equal money plus income.tofix2 div for expense class name money minus math.abs expense to fixed 2 if. Export default income expense. Now create transaction list.js. Import transaction from /transaction. Const transaction list equals transactions on delete equals th3 history list transactions.map t transaction key t.id transaction t on delete. Export default transaction list. Then create transaction.js. Const transaction equals transaction on delete equals const sign transaction.amount dash plus. Return li class name transaction.amount 0 minus plus transaction.text sign $. Math ab transaction.amount click on delete transaction.id class name will delete bex export default transaction. Now create the final component file. Add transaction.js. Import React. useState from React. Import v4 as uuid v4 from uuid. Const add transaction equals on add. Const text set text useState. Const amount equals useState. Const handle submit equals e.prevent default. If text amount return. On add id uuid v4 text amount plus amount set text set amount. Return form on submit handle submit h3 add new transaction. Input type will text placeholder descript value equals text. On change e set text e.target.value. Input type number placeholder amount negative equal expense value equals amount. On change e set amount e target value. Button type submit add transaction form. Export default add transaction. Let's also style our app. Open app.css and paste this. css.container max width 400px margin auto padding 20px background white border radius 10px box shadow 0010px ccc font family Arial sans serif. H2, H3, H4, text align center. Balance, margin 20px 0, text align center. Inc XP container, display flex, justify content space between margin 20px 0, background F0FOFO, padding 10px, border radius 5px, money.plus, color green. Money.minus, color red. List style none, padding 0. List li, background F4F4F4, padding 10px, margin 5px 0, position relative, border right 5px solid, list border color green. List li.minus, border color red. Delete b10, position absolute, right 10px, bop 10px, background right, border none, padding 4px 8px, cursor pointer, border radius 4px Form input. Form button. Width 100%. Padding 10px. Margin top 10px. Font size 16px. Form button. Background color hasher 007 BFF. Color white. Border none. Cursor pointer. Form button hover. Background 56p3. Now go back to your terminal and run bash npm start. Your expense tracker is ready. You can add transactions like salary with a positive amount or groceries with a negative amount. It saves everything in your browser using local storage. That's it. You've built a complete expense tracker in React.